It is our pleasure to welcome Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon to our show here on Big Board Sports as Buffalo plays at Seattle tonight, and Warren Moon will be in the broadcast booth. He's part of the Seahawks radio network, and he joins us here for a few minutes this morning in Albany. Warren Moon, absolute pleasure to have you on Big Board Sports.
Hey, thanks for having me on. How you guys doing today?
We're good, great. Warren. How's the broadcasting end treating you? How do you like that?
I love it. You know, I love the fact that I can stay around the game, a game that I've been involved in since I was 10 years old. And I knew when I retired away from the game, I didn't want to get away from it completely. So I didn't want to go into coaching. That was just a little bit too drastic as far as the amount of hours you have to put into it. But I did want to stay around the game, and the broadcasting gave me an opportunity to do that. So I'm with a great organization. We've been to 3 Super Bowls since I've been here. I have a Super Bowl ring from this. And this is a team that always is competitive each and every week, so you have a chance to have pretty good broadcast every week, and you're not making a lot of excuses. So it's been a great experience for me. Yeah,
sounds like a great fit, Warren. We appreciate a few minutes. How do you characterize right now the Seattle Seahawks season so far?
Well, it's probably it probably could be a little bit better than what it's been. We've had a lot of injuries. Our quarterback has been hobbled for the last month or so with a knee and an ankle injury in Russell Wilson. So that's really hampered, what he's able to do that makes him, a special player. We've had an offensive line of juggling throughout the season just because we started with a new offensive line this year, and some of those guys have gotten hurt, so we haven't played as well up front. But other than that, the team is really playing hard. They're still competing. We have a really good defense that we put on the field a little bit too much because our offense hasn't been able to play that well. But I think as we get into the second half of the season, traditionally this team starts to play better in the second half. And hopefully that's the case this year, that we'll start turning things around here in the next 8 games.
Warren, how do you think Russell will play tonight? I mean, he has been injured here, and I've heard some people say I'm not even sure he should be on the field. But from a quarterbacking standpoint, obviously the position that you played in the Hall of Fame career, what's your thought about Russell tonight gutting this one out?
Well, if I would have said he shouldn't be playing, it should have been about 3 weeks ago. I think now he's much better than he was when he was first injured the first couple of weeks. It seems like every week he gets a little bit more mobility back, and he's practicing better. He doesn't have as much, tape on his ankles now. I think he's starting to get back to normal, but he's still a little ways away from that. But I think you'll see much more mobility out of him than you've seen in the last, say, 3 or 4 weeks. What does Buffalo, Warren, do that may cause some problems here for Seattle tonight? Well, for a team that has an inexperienced and offensive line that's really not, playing well together right now, they can give you a lot of problems with all the different blitz combinations they can come with. And it seems like every week Rex and Dennis Thurman come up with, some different blitzes that confuse people. And when you have an offensive line that's not, playing with a lot of great chemistry, that could be a problem. So that's where Russell's going to have to really be able to maybe get away from some guys that might come through free because of some confusion on the offensive line. But that's what Buffalo does. They lead the league in sacks. I think they have 26 already, and they can get to the quarterback. So we've got to make sure we protect Russell, and we got to run the ball better. That's something we haven't done well this year.
Warren, when's the last time you actually threw a football?
Probably about 3 months ago. I mean, I throw it around every now and then, and I can still throw the ball. That's never a problem. It's these legs. When you're an athlete, you got to have legs. And if your legs aren't moving the way they used to, that's how you get killed out there on that field. So that's when I knew it was time for me to retire, when those legs start slowing down. Hey, the other storyline tonight around this game as we talk with Warren Moon, Hall of Fame quarterback, who's in the broadcast booth for the Seahawks radio network, is Percy Harvin returns to Seattle tonight. His friction with his teammates has been well documented. Did you ever have an issue with a teammate, and what are your thoughts about Harvin's return tonight to Seattle? I never had any serious issues with teammates that lingered. I mean, I think whenever you have a family, brothers, guys are going to argue from time to time, and then you make up and you move on. But, there was some friction here when Percy was here. He's a very competitive guy. But I think when he left here, everything was okay. And, I'm sure that they're going to try and put him on the field tonight in some different situations, whether it's special teams or just getting him the football in space somehow, and just see what he can do and see if he can make some plays, because he's a very dynamic player. And when he was healthy for us, I tell you what, he was as good as you can get. So if he's anything what he used to be, he's going to be a good addition for their football team.
Yeah, I think that would just be a tough spot, though, coming out of retirement like that. But I guess, obviously, Rex Ryan's rolling the dice here a little bit and thinks that Harvin can help. We will find out tonight. Warren, you went to 9 Pro Bowls, won an MVP, first African-American quarterback to be voted into the Hall of Fame. What are you most proud of looking back?
I think what I was most proud of was I was able to persevere through some very tough times trying to even play the position, and people not thinking very much of my ability for whatever reasons that might have been. And then, come out of it and, be up to the highest levels of the game, to be able to be inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame with some of the greatest players to ever play the game. But I think more importantly, I was able to help make change in the league as far as the way people think about African Americans playing the quarterback position. And since then, there's been a lot of guys drafted very high in the draft. And you look at, Donovan McNabb, you look at Michael Vick, you look at Cam Newton, you look at Jameis Winston. All these guys are drafted right at the top of the draft, and that wasn't the case back in the day. So the whole mentality about what African Americans can do at that position has changed, and I like to feel like I had a little part in that.
Hey, Warren, the other question I had for you, has been a lot written and said about the ratings being down this year, really across the board of the National Football League, and everyone has a different reason as to why. Do you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons. I think all the reasons that people are talking about are pretty valid, whether it's, the baseball playoffs were very, very interesting this year with the Cubs being involved. I think you look at the election, a lot of people are distracted by the election. I think people are looking at the game other places, whether it's online, streaming on the internet, things like that. There's a lot of different reasons, I'm sure, why the numbers are down a little bit, but it's still a very, very popular game. And I think the league has to definitely be conscious of some of the other complaints about, too many penalty flags, the safety of the game and things like that they have to address to make sure they keep the interest and make sure the quality of the games stay the same way. That's something I'm more concerned about than anything else, that the quality of play out there on the field needs to be what it's always been. And I don't think it's that way right now. So that has to be addressed, but there's a lot of other reasons why they might be down a little bit.
Hey, Warren, before I let you go, what kind of game do you expect here tonight in the Monday Nighter with Buffalo at Seattle?
I expect a physical one. I think, Rex Ryan's teams are always physical. The Seahawks play a very physical brand as well. I think it's going to be a very loud crowd tonight. This place is a very tough place to play, especially on a national televised Monday night game. These fans are going to be really juiced up, and we're going to have to get off to a good start. The longer we keep this team around, the tougher it's going to be to put them away. So if we can get off to a fast start and get a lead, let our defense play with a lead for a while, they're really special when they have a 10-point lead or so.
Warren Moon, Hall of Fame quarterback, Seattle Seahawks Radio Network. Absolute pleasure spending a few minutes with you, Warren. Have a good call tonight, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Okay, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it, and hopefully it's a great game tonight.
Thank you, Warren.
Thanks,
appreciate
Warren.
it. It's Warren Moon,
Take care, guys.
Hall of Fame quarterback.